Welcome back, everybody, to the Tuesday show. This is the bit where we don't necessarily have the interviews and the other things that the main podcast does every Thursday morning, if you will. What we do on a Tuesday is we break down the Des Hamilton bit. The bit that I've done, the week that I've had, the quarter that I'm having, the journey that I've gone from. Because if you don't know me, hello, welcome. I'm the guy that took £200. I started with £200 from the joint account in September 2022, the day after Liz Truss crashed the economy. Little side note, she seems to have a little bit of a problem at the moment with people saying that she crashed the economy, even though she freaking crashed the economy. Oi, Liz, have a listen up, love. Sue me. You crashed the economy. But you were also the catalyst that got me going. You were the straw that broke the camel's back in the Hamilton house, because that was the point where I realised no one was coming to help us. 20, 30 years of crappy government after crappy government. Cost of living. This was before cost of living was even a phrase. The monthly amount of money we had left was dwindling every single month. My wife and I, we hadn't been on holiday. We had rarely gone on dates. All of a sudden, soft plays were becoming expensive. All of a sudden, it took more than one thing. If a tyre burst and the washing machine broke, wallop, that's us done for a long time. And we said, no, this isn't right. So I took the £200 that we had in the joint account. The last £200 we had, initially it was £100, but I scrabbled another 100 because things went well in the first phase. And I put a challenge in place to turn that into £100,000 within 2 years. I had no experience on e-commerce. I had no experience with side hustles. What I did have was months of research in my brain because we knew we were getting going at the start of that year. Also, what I had was this freaking motivation that I was not going to fail, no matter what. No matter what. So I put the challenge in play, I pressed record, I did some TikToks, and before you know it, wallop, everything took over. I turned that £200 into £100,000 in less than 2 years, 21 and a half months. We kicked on. My wife's quit her job, I've quit my job, and here we are. But you know all that if you've been around. If you haven't been around, as I say, welcome. It's been a hell of a ride. It's been a hell of a ride. But we are not done yet. Yeah, it was a 2-year challenge. But who sets up a business in 2 years and then calls it a day? No, no, no. We are in the empire building business at this point. And we are morphing into things that were a figment of my imagination a couple of years ago. And the lessons that I've learned along the way, I've realised where there are gaps. Actually, it's quite interesting when you think about it. The problem-solving mentality that you adopt when you become a business owner, an entrepreneur, whatever you want to call yourself. Because as you progress, as you learn more, as you speak to people and network and engage with them and figure out where there are gaps in the market, where you see people who are experts in their field and you think to yourself, I think I can do that. Away you go. Interesting, right? Anyway, here we are. 2025. Wow. What a start. What a start. You're listening to this on the 14th of January 2025. We kind of started work on the 6th just because we wanted to enjoy the time the kids had off from school. And news flash, we announced it yesterday. Things have got real. Let's get into the announcement. The announcement that Des Hamilton Roadshow kicks off in 2025, February 2025, Friday the 21st of February. I'm going to say that again, Friday the 21st of February in Brighton, in the middle of Brighton. The Des Hamilton Roadshow kicks off leg one. You can't have a roadshow without somewhere to start, and yes, of course, it's starting in my freaking hometown because it's the first one. Why would I travel anywhere on what is essentially going to be an experiment? Doesn't matter. This is going to be banging. The guests we have got confirmed so far. We have got Al Carlton, the CEO from Seller Amp SaaS, who continue to sponsor the show and continue to support me, and I can never say thank you enough to them. We have got Callum Boyd, the Arborsource CEO. Arborsource is my online sourcing software of choice. I love it. Grateful that Callum's coming down from Scotland. We have also got Luke Colwell, my business partner, my Welsh brother, the guy that does TikTok, does Amazon, does content creation, does mindset awareness, does all sorts of community building. What a guy. We have got Hayden Davidson and Natalie Cromie. Let's do Natalie first. Natalie is the queen of the bundles. She is also behind her own social media channels and The Hive. Natalie is an experienced Amazon mentor, a multi six-figure business, incredibly successful. It's an honour to have her here. She also runs a PPC agency along with Hayden. Hayden himself, massive Amazon seller. I was on his show. He was on my show a couple of weeks back. You know exactly how successful Hayden is. He's also a content creator and a podcaster. And then we've got Steve Brady. For those of you that have been on my journey, you know exactly who Steve is. Steve is the guy that has been part of my Facebook group, been my business partner, been part of my Amazon mentoring, and been the guy that I've been attached to in terms of Amazon for the best part of a year. Steve himself is an Amazon mentor for beginners. He also runs a prep centre and runs various services like a Done For You service and various other ones that he may or may not be ready to talk about, but we're going to leave that there. A massive guest. Really glad that Steve's coming. Then we talk about the TikTok side of things. We have got the 5 of the biggest affiliates in TikTok UK. Stacey Small, a massive affiliate in her own right and a massive part of the Tick Marketing Agency. Then we have got Ron Reed, Gus McKay, Jenna Marie and Chris Stewart. These 4 have made Nutrition Geeks the #1 selling brand on the platform. These 4 are 4 of the mega affiliates, and each of them has a story of resilience that needs to be heard to be believed. It's going to be incredible. Then we go mindset, and this one's huge. We're bringing in Lydia from the 444 agency, confidence and manifestation coach. Lydia is unbelievable. She is my confidence and manifestation coach. I've done her 2-week self-limiting beliefs challenge. There is so much that Lydia can offer in how you overcome your insecurities, how you become aware and adapt and tackle them head on and become a better person when it comes to business and general life. Lydia is unreal, and she's coming down as well. Then we've also got in the crowd people like my social media manager, Sophie Mayer Evans from Open Socials, who's willing to talk to people about content creation, social growth, and the things that a social media manager can do to help you grow your socials. We're going to have Carl Southwell, one of my very best friends, who happens to run Startup Street, a coach and a mentor for people that are looking to start up new businesses. We have got a wealth of people. They're not the only ones, by the way. There are more and more people being announced, more people in the crowd, and more special guests that may or may not want to be announced at this phase, which is completely fine. This is going to be something special. I knew I wanted to go out and about on public speaking circuits. Listen back to previous episodes of this. I say to you, this is what I'm going to do in 2025. Well, away we went. I spoke to a pal. His name's Carl Southwell. And he put me in touch with somebody that he helped start up an e-commerce business. A guy called Ben. You're also going to meet Ben one day. He's going to come on this podcast. I spoke to Ben, and before you know it, he said, I can develop a website and I can develop an app for you. Yes, please. We did this before Christmas. So I knew that I was going to get these things in place. So brace yourself. The Des Hamilton app and the Des Hamilton website, they are coming down the tracks sooner than you think. And I thought, right, what am I going to put in an app that can actually provide value? Because it's all well and good people coming to Facebook or giving me a follow on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube or a podcast. But what can I do to make people realise that there is value in what I do on an app that is entirely mine and I'm not subject to anyone else's rules or anyone else's fee structure? And then I realised, you know what, I wanted to do the public speaking thing. And I learned this after talking to Rob Moore. Very grateful to him. What a guy. Came onto the podcast where I went up to visit him, gave me his time, gave me his knowledge. Lovely interview. Really proud of that one. And I've tried to get Simon Squibb on. Naturally, he's a very busy man. I feel for Simon Squibb. I do. He's a guy that says he wants to help people. But of course, what he's getting, hundreds and thousands of people saying, can you help me? And then the people that he's got the time to help, because he hasn't got enough time to help everybody, for God's sake, but the people that he isn't able to help, they come away resentful. That's not his fault. It is a consequence of what he's doing. And I understand why he can't come on the podcast. Bloody hell. He will one day. And I know you will, mate. I know. And I'm really looking forward to it. And I really want to shake your hand and tell you what a freaking inspiration you are. But until then, I understand that he has got a finite amount of time, a finite amount of energy. And he can only put himself in a limited amount of places. So when he is ready to come on this podcast, when it is worthy of him, I'll be waiting. But until then, no bother. Really, really, really no bother. But what I did realise, in the UK, in the online entrepreneur space, in content creation and business, there are very few people that people can aspire to at that level. And the ones that people talk about, Simon, top of the tree, hands down, deservedly so. And then you've got Rob. Who else is there? See? You're scrambling in your brain, aren't you? Actual people that get out, they deliver inspiring speeches, they go out, they build their profile, they're public speaking extraordinaires. I'm the geezer that's done all this from the kitchen. Why can't I be in that conversation? Right? So I'm bloody gonna be. Maybe not this year, but I'm bloody gonna be. There's a gap, because after Simon and after Rob, you find yourself talking about Americans. There's very few people in the UK. Over in America, you've got loads of them off the top of my head. Everyone talks about Hormozy, everyone talks about Gary Vee. So I'm going to be a guy that's in that conversation. If I've missed you out, if you're a big deal in the UK and I've missed you out, truly I apologise. But simply put, you haven't come across my radar. That's fine. No ill intent meant. But I would like to be with you guys. So I'm going to work my arse off to make it happen, because that's what we do. So what I did do, I spoke to a friend of mine who owns a chain of pubs in Brighton. And I said, is there a venue that I can use? We're going to get into this venue. He said, yes. Away we go. I've got a venue. I've got a date. And then I thought, you know what? Let's put the feelers out. So I sent a message to a couple of people and I put it in my Facebook group. Date and venue confirmed. This is what we're going to do. Wow. And we're going to talk about networking. My God. Names and people that reached out within 3 hours. Blew my mind. A guy that I know up in Scotland said, Des, I've heard about this event. I'd love to be there. I'm flying down. I've got people coming from Bradford. I've got people coming from Manchester. I've got people coming from Newcastle. And then there's the fact that people are actually willing to pay to see me talk and host this thing with these guests. I mean, there's one thing listening to a podcast, or one thing to double click a like or something like that, but there's another to go out of your way, get childcare because it's half term, book a hotel, pay money, travel all this way down south, pay a bit more money, and then you're coming in to listen to this guy. Now, you will all know that I've had imposter syndrome up to the eyeballs over the last few years. But if there's ever any validation that what I'm doing might actually be helpful, this is the one. This is the one. And it is blowing my mind. But at the same point, I'm really excited because I know I can put something special on. I know I can. And with all of these people, all it does is it makes life easier. I mean, I was willing to do this and stand up on my own for 3 hours, for God's sake. But here I am now with a wealth of experienced, amazing, amazing people that want to show you in real terms what can be achieved. And the beauty of it all is that we were all once in your shoes, especially this guy. So I'm really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. So brace yourself. For the next 4 weeks, I'm going to be talking about this a lot. A lot. But I cannot wait. For those that are interested, we've got the app coming out very, very soon. And as soon as that's released, I'll let you guys know, and you can register your interest for the event on the app. At that point, I'll know a much better idea of how many of you want to come, how many tickets I need to cater for, food, extras. Let's call it extras. I don't want to spoil anything. But until you know numbers on an event like this, of course, you're not going to know exactly what it is you're dealing with. That's the first thing. Let's get the numbers sorted. Then I'll plan the rest of it. However, my God, there are some surprises in store and it's going to be banging. Keep an eye out. In the meantime, I'm just going to remind you of these guests. I want to do a best of for the people that I have interviewed that are already confirmed for the event. I want to show you exactly who these people are, what they do, and the sort of thing that you can expect from them when you get your backsides down to Brighton to see all of us and we all have a cuddle and a drink and maybe a sing-song. But most importantly, what we do is give you guys a show. So that's all I'm going to say for this week. Let's kick on, shall we? Have a lovely week. Take care of yourselves. Ta-da.